What is going on, YouTube? This is John from Emphatic, and I'm coming to you with a special video, a little presentation I'm putting together. Basically, I'm calling this the science of the WitchSlap. Go ahead, ask what the hell all you want. Uh, WitchSlap is not something that's just like a common concept, how to funnel these witches. I feel that I happen to do better than quite a few people at this because I do have an 11. I'm used to running Bowler's Witch, and it just kind of came along naturally for me as soon as I saw the very first time. Uh, what you see right here is a little bit of a modified composition that I am starting to run now. Basically, you'll see what happened later on, but I'm adding 2 archers and 2 balloons to this attack, dropping one of my witches, and that's in the case of any trolliness that goes on. I did get trolled pretty bad. It's one of the things that can go wrong with this hit. Ideally, you're looking to use this hit fresh. You're looking to do this hit pretty quickly. And what it is it's a very strong 3-star strategy that gives you a very good chance of success and clearing up triples so that they can be available, or some more Town Hall 9s can be available for some incredibly important scouts for the Town Hall 10s and 11s. We saw it in this war where if 11s don't have scouts, it can really affect a raid if they have a clan castle they weren't expecting. So I mean, this is just, I think this is probably a good strategy to put in your back pocket. It's not for every base, but when you see a base that's susceptible to it, there is zero shame in going and running this attack. Alright, so here's what we're doing. We have 9 witches. I used to bring 10. And we're not dropping all of our witches in the corners here. What we want to do is we want to establish a witch flank, yes. And we bring healers because a lot of aces decide they're going to put giant bombs on the outside either to surprise hogs early or to prevent this attack where the giant bombs will take away the effectiveness of the witch or take them away completely. In fact, and you can take this as a little base building tip, at Town Hall 10 before they buffed the small bombs, we would add 2 small bombs to the outside of our giant bombs that were on the outside to trip up the Bowler Witch attack because that would be enough DPS to take out some witches and bowlers. So that could be something you use for Town Hall 9 base building. It's putting all your eggs in one basket, but again, it could be an idea. And it might still take them out even with the healers. But what the deal is a lot of people do put giant bombs on the outside or Tesla farms. The healers, you put 2 of them per pack of witches that are on your flanks to guide them all the way through. And it will help deal with these where the skeletons are taken away and the witches have to work on a wizard tower with no tanks available. And you'll see that I don't even focus on these wizard towers here. In fact, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for easy to funnel areas, and I can't remember exactly where I put my witch or my archer queen on this, but I do use the archer queen for funneling. I will go into that a little bit. But as you can see here, we got a nice jump path where we can get through just about the entire base with a jump spell right here. And a jump spell right, I think I put it on Arch Tower, but really I could have put it in between here. And it could have gone through the entire base. Actually, this raid does get a little wacky because the game did glitch out on me now that I think about it. So this is still a good example to show, but it's not going to be the best example to show. So what you're doing is you're getting, we'll just push play here. I'm testing for any trolliness because these are fresh hits. I did get, like I said, I did get trolled pretty bad. We're dropping 4 healers, 2 healers, or 4 witches, 2 healers, and then I think I dropped 3 and 2 healers here. That leaves me with 2 witches left over, and they're going to be used for funneling. So as you see here, they're designed in a way that they're going to start pushing their way through. Take a look here. We have camps here. This is a lot of real estate to take out that will ensure the funnel. So now that this golem is down, this archer tower should be pretty distracted with skeletons. Unfortunately, the golem's not going to path in an area that I wanted him to go. But as you see there, we drop a witch on the 2 camps, and here's where it kind of glitched out because you see all my wizards are dropped there too. And that's going to take out the camps, so everything else gets pushed. The flanks get pushed to the outside. Everything else gets pushed to the inside. Ideally, my wizards would be here, here, and here, with the goal that the wizards follow the kill squad in to go handle a clan castle that is not a hound, or actually even handle a hound. So either way, the clan castle is going to be dealt with, and that's going to free up the queen to walk on the outside where she has plenty of point defenses. I don't exactly remember my reasoning for putting the queen out here. I think it was just because everything's pushed so far away that this could lead to some vulnerabilities by the skeletons getting pulled away from the walls and the cannons taking out the witches. So I think that was my reasoning for here. Generally, for outside queen placement, I look for 3 things to start. First off, I do not like starting where I'm going to be having air defenses on the corner. So like if an air defense was right here and an air defense was right here and maybe the other 2 air defenses were down here, I wouldn't be starting on this side. Or if the air defenses were now for corners, there'd be a good chance I would not witch slap the base. I might just pass it up and leave it for somebody else. It's part of the base identification. The reason being is because these healers are so valuable to the raid. Am I already down to just 1 over there? Oh no, there's 2. These healers are so valuable to making sure the witches get through all the base if there's outside bombs or anything like that, that losing both of these healers to fight a air defense on either flank is just killer. The queen helps speed up that process. Now say if there was air defense here and here, and here and here, my queen would go on the corner where the air defense is to help get to that air defense before too much damage is done to my healers. And then the other side I would just leave alone to walk up to the back end air defenses. Because at that point the raid is over with. So as you see here, I've got my funnel points where the camps are going to go away. Fortunately, 2 of my wizards decided they're going to go back in. Actually, it looks like 3 of my wizards went back in. No, 1 died. Like I said, this was glitch. As you can see, everything's going to drop from this corner here. But because the funneling was good enough, everything's going to go right to the jump spell. Fortunately, the spells did not get glitched like that. I was going to be pretty upset if that was the case. But as you see there, the witches are getting hit, and they're easily able to take down that arch tower. So everybody's going in where they're supposed to. First rage is down. We try to drop our rage where it can do the most damage on the entry. And you see there, it's just going to go through, take out an Expo, take out the Queen, take out Bomb Tower, high hit point Clan Castle. It's just going to take out a lot. So, and then we have a heal spell to help for any inevitable inside bombs, like right here, where my bowlers get hit. We can keep them up. Thankfully, the wizards usually stay pretty far back, so we don't have to worry too much about them. Some witches did go inside. It's not ideal, but it does happen, and it's not a bad thing either, especially when you're dealing with a Hound CC, because they have the splash damage that will take out these pups pretty easily. So we're going to start working our way through. I did bring since the balloons, I want to try to drop them to help with this Tesla farm, but again, they glitched my troops all to that corner. Balloons really are just going to be back-end help if you don't need to use them to handle any trolliness. Again, that's just another modification. That's a modification I made with this raid. I haven't really tested too much outside of this, so we will see. But you see, 2 witches are outside. I got a couple witches on the inside. Out here, I have at least 3 witches, maybe 4, queen, and skeletons. That whole side is just destroyed, and they're wrapping around pretty nicely. And I think you saw on this raid that it was only 2.5 minutes long. Troll Tesla's no big deal. Corner huts, usually no big deal. You usually get through the raid pretty fast, so you really don't need these extra archers to handle the back end, which I think I did use the archers to try to drop it on the back end, and they're still dropping back here where the clan castle deployed. So we're just going to continue to play. Jump spell is down to help lead everybody to the rest of the base. Unfortunately, Keen's already down, but since the witches are inside, we are able to continue to push through. And we got a skeleton spell as insurance here. Now, the skeleton spell can either help clean or it can distract buildings. I don't remember what I did with it. Oh, I dropped it on the Troll Tesla because they were not needed to distract because the healers were doing such a good job of keeping up the witches. So, unfortunately, everything's going to slow down here in regards to the Wizard Tower, but AQ's up. A ton of skeletons are on the outside cleaning up. And she's going to take out that Wizard Tower. No chance. Even with a glitched out raid, it's a very overpowering attack. But the base identification has to be there. It's not on every single base. All right, so we have another one here. And again, this is another base identification. It's just a difficult funnel to make here. Very, very hard. Just a ton of stuff that are just widespread. As you can see here, there's going to be ways that Queen decides she's going to walk out. I don't remember this raid much at all, so let's just press play and see how I started the funnel. I know this one was not a glitched out raid. This is the normal way I usually handle it. I will say, though, as you see there, I got my corner witches and my healers down. With this right here, normally this would be a jump spell into this, but if you take a look here, my second jump would be here. My kill squad would stall out in this area with 2 splash on them to really be working on the queen and or anybody that walking through. So ideally, that's not a good way. I don't have the danger of these air defenses here to cause problems, so I can start from this side, get a jump spell here, and get a jump spell right on top of this guy, and it's going to push me all the way to the back of this area. It's really just felt like a better entry to me because I could get into this whole area right here, and then everybody would have to break out. Worst case scenario, I figure I'm dropping my skeleton spell on the expo there. So let's just see where everything goes. I do remember this to be a pretty overpowering raid. I dropped this in a way where once they take out the camp, they should all head this way instead of heading back towards the center here. I don't want these witches going on the inside. Golem, I've got plenty of space right here for them to, or nice anchors here for the golem to get to. So, if I recall correctly, a witch would be better placed right here and right here to start funneling in with my wizards here, here, and here to work inside the base. AQ, I wouldn't be surprised if she was up here. Let's just see where she goes. Yep, so my witches are working their way. My 3 wizards are inside of my witches to get funneled in towards the center to jump into the base. And I don't have to wait too long for my Keen and Queen, or for my Keen and bowlers to get dropped either. You see that this was a fresh hit. I did kick up a mini Tesla farm on the start. Or actually, you know what? I put the queen on the inside. How about that? I don't remember my exact reasoning. 9 times out of 10, she's on the outside, but yeah. Nice little outside giant bomb. Thankfully, my golem ate the brunt of that. And there you go. Oh, that's why we bring the healers. So look at that. They get right on that witch, and she's right back up to full. So we get our heal spell, or our rage spell down. Nice little area to cause a lot of damage. Unfortunately, there's not like a lot of really damaging stuff there since there's a lot of outside defenses. But yeah, I don't think we had much to worry, because we really didn't have much to worry about on this side, because the witches would pull so far away from the wall here, there's nothing really to do too much damage to them over here. I think that was my reason why we put the queen on the inside. And actually, I think I did fail my first hit, which you'll see here in a minute with really bad base recognition. But we do got Teslas there, so it's going to pull the skeletons in there. But there's really zero danger here for these outside witches. Then we drop our skeleton spell on that back end Inferno, or Expo, which is focusing on looks like a golem or something. I don't know, but the skeletons did power all the way through that Expo, no problem. It looks like the oh no, the healer's not working on his witches at all. But with some proper base identification and a little bit of care to make sure the funnel's established, this raid is just brutal. Alright, so you can see here that this base is pretty much primed for an easy funnel. As you see, ideally you don't want to go into these double air defenses if you can, or corner air defenses if you can help it. In that case, it would be a great idea to have the queen there to help speed you through the air defense to protect your healers. Um, but this base is actually a fail, and you're going to see why in just a second. Basically, there comes to be a point where a guy's expecting to be witch slapped, and it's going to leave you a nice little idea of something to try fresh. So I'm just going to zoom in here at 12 o'clock. You're going to see what happens. So the raid's starting. All of my witches down. Look at that. We have 3 Teslas and a giant bomb there. My witches are gone, and it leaves just my archer queen there. Healer's a tank. So, and we lose a healer. So we lose a healer, we lose 4 witches there. And that basically ruins the raid from there. And just to show you how powerful the funnel was, you know, we made sure we got our room so that the wizards did go in. We did end up with a very high percentage on this. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, as the queen was not able to get all the way around to help out with the end there. It left the expo up. And I think the witches basically ran out of juice there. Yeah. Once they came around to these wizard towers, the queen needed to get around to get those wizard towers, basically. But that is definitely something that can screw up your raid. And if we just bounce back in here, just to see. I wish I paid attention to what number that was. But since you've got these 2 archers here, idea that you could do is you could drop an archer in each corner to make sure it's not trolled. For the individual Tesla's not going to kill you; it's the bombs that will. You could burn an archer on that, and then drop the queen if you kick up some Teslas and bombs. The queen can take a couple of shots before you get the healers on her and the witches to help. Or you could drop your witches, drop 1 witch at a time, just to make sure it's or test. But then you cost yourself the 12 troop space of the witch, whereas as you see, you usually have plenty of time left at the end of the raid for the skeletons to go and get the corners. Another option that you could do is you could drop a witch and then just go lighter on the witches on the archer queen side, and bring a couple balloons to drop on Teslas if they pop up, if the archer kicks something up. So that's an idea to get out of the troll trap. Yeah, let's go back to the video. Alright, we got ourselves alive. We got Eve going in here. I just got off voice with her, coaching her through this, basically the same stuff that you're going to see in the beginning parts of this video, and she's looking for her easiest funnel. Didn't quite get that the archers go towards, like, I suggest going to the lab to help push the skeletons in, but it's fine. They're going to help start building that funnel for the witches that as they come down, they're going to start pushing their way through. Gets her wizards down, so that way they should all go in. This is a fresh hit, so we were not counting on this Tesla farm, and the Tesla farm is going to become a big deal here. But you're going to see that this is able to push on through. So she's got the boulders down. They're going to work their way over and start chucking their rocks. Now, a lot of them catch the attention of that Tesla farm, and they're going to continue to walk around. So, in retrospect, it was probably a better idea to put the queen over on that side to help push through the more high hit point funnel areas versus where I request or coached her that she should put it, and that's on the town hall, because the town hall was like an immediate target. But it turned out that those elixir storages were a little bit more dangerous. But here you see that, I mean, the witches are taking everything out on the inside. A couple bowlers and a witch went inside. Like, I think it was still like 1 bowler and 1 witch. With the help of the Rage and the King, they get a nice push through. Unfortunately, they're going to leave up an expo because the witch that's attacking the bomb tower is going to die. But we got a strong bunch of witches. I think almost all the witches up top are going through. They were protected by the heal spells as they were fighting air defenses and a lot of attacking power there. They're going to be tanked for by their skeletons. And she saw what had happened to me with getting trolled, so decided that she wasn't going to bring a skeleton spell for insurance, and instead opted for the second poison spell, which did help her out with a baby dragon clan castle in here, since there wasn't much air. Or actually, the wizards did go in, so never mind. They were targeting it. It is an option. You don't always need it. But as you can see here, this raid kind of fell apart there at the beginning with the bowlers But just due to the power of this, there's no splash left. There's a ton of skeletons to try to defend. We lost a few to a spring trap along with a witch, but there's just so many extra skeletons and a wizard that walked because of that Tesla farm that they are able to push through and overpower this. I think she beat this by like 10 seconds. And you see just no more, or the only thing that will shoot at her now is a bomb tower. So we get a good split on skeletons. They go to start taking out the air defenses. Giant bomb pops, misses, and they're going to just go and all start shooting at the bomb tower and take it down before the bomb tower can even take anybody else out. So Eve wasn't very comfortable with these hits. Worked through some coaching, just explained to her the same principles I explained at the beginning of this video, and she crushed it. I had her on voice too, but I didn't record the system audio, or else I probably would have shared that with you, so that way you could see some of the planning discussion that goes on with these attacks. I know she would have been fine with it. In fact, she told me I should have had the narration on and wasn't surprised that I ninja lived her. So, very good job to her. We got one more coming from her. Give me a minute because I'm recording this audio afterwards. Alright, so Eve basically DM'd me while I was asleep. She did this attack when I wasn't around to help coach her, and just used some of the principles that we talked about with her first attack that I helped to work coach her through. This was another base that we both agreed upon was probably a pretty good WitchSlap base. And there you go. She drops 8 of her skeletons on the outside, drops her golem in an area to tank all 3 of those defenses there, which was a surprise Tesla. Gets her funnel witches on the outside, so that way it pushes queen and witches all down. And it sort of lessens the split that could happen. We did lose a archer or a witch down at the bottom, unfortunately, to the cannon, but the archer queen should push back and take care of it. And I think she might actually go inside. And that's the thing with some of these attacks. Sometimes, okay, so the archer queen does go around, but a witch that was up there decided the funnel witch decided she's going to go inside. And that's normal. It's very likely that your funnel witches can go inside or they can walk. It's nothing you should ever count on, aside from the fact that they are going to establish that funnel for you. And there you go. Of course, you see bombs on the outside for the witches. Healers are working their way through there at 2 o'clock. You know, the second jumps down, just chucking rocks, destroying the space. The only real threat left is a wizard tower and a couple of Teslas. And the bowlers are going to take out the wizard tower right now, and therefore just leave this base wide open. I don't know why I'm not scrolling the mouse. This is, like I said, I've pre-recorded this hit and I'm recording this audio later. But very, very good way to take what you learn, Eve, and utilize the attacks. You just got yourself a nice fresh 6-pack. Very good job. And that's exactly what we need here at Town Hall 9. It just helps or show why this attack is so powerful, and definitely not something to be looked at or frowned down upon for getting your attacks done. So, good job. That's about all I've got for this. I think that's a good enough tutorial there with the WitchSlap. And we'll just see, like, if I see any more trouble within the clan with people just not picking up the witch funneling or something like that. Maybe I can do a part 2 or something. I don't know. But I'm going to keep my eye out for possible other tutorial opportunities within the clan. WitchSlap is just something I know personally and constantly defend, so it's just was a natural selection for doing for the first real return tutorial video, being back and doing that business. So that's all I got today. Thanks for watching. WitchSlap away.